Get lost. Nice. Oh, I don't want you to leave. Stay. I want us to zero in on the definition of lost. Lost is defined by convention as having no direction, being gone, unattainable, or out of reach. But what if I were to tell you that getting lost means something entirely different in the creative mindset? But hold on, what is creative mindset? For many, it is a mental barrier, but anyone can access creativity. That's right, I said it, anyone. That means you. It's hard to feel creative, though, when we've seen our ideas manifested by another time and time again. We say, oh, I've seen it done before, or it's been streamed on YouTube and searched on Google millions of times in its most perfect form. But the truth is, anyone can have an idea, a creative voice, and a story that is beautifully unique, extraordinarily creative, and has never been told before. It is up to us to tell that story, and it is up to us to express ourselves with our creative mindset in order to sculpt impactful change in our society as youth, without a roadmap or a final destination. Now let's get lost. A simple acronym can unpack the methodology of lost and redefine its meaning. L, listen to criticism. The word criticism can feel a lot like checking your voicemail as a young professional. Do you want to listen to it? No. Do you listen to it? Yes. Why? Because grandma can't text yet. But we do value her messages, especially the ones with 5 periods, a balloon emoji, and no words at all. The truth is, who gladly wants to admit the fact that they don't know how to do something, or that they're lost? Creativity begins by accepting criticism, assessing it, and then acting on it. Once we accept the fact that we don't know where our next step is, it's time to find the right mentors. The people who genuinely care about your success will not be afraid to give you the hard truth or verbalize your idiosyncrasies. I thought it was a brilliant plan to quit my stable, tenured job as an elementary art teacher in a public school system and accept a fraction of what I was being paid in order to pursue my dream career as a freelance illustrator. My husband, who I thought would be the first person to encourage me, criticized me, asking me questions like, how would I file my taxes? And what market of consumers was I trying to target? How and where would I sell my art? I admittedly had no answers to any of these questions and sat there slumped in a chair while he expressed every point of concern. I was lost. But at least I had an awareness of the questions that I needed answers to in order to move forward with clarity and success. According to a 2019 article in the Harvard Business Review on innovation, author and psychologist Charles Nemeth states that in order to create breakthroughs, it is necessary to leverage the contrasts that come from critique instead of escaping them. Debate and criticism do not inhibit ideas, rather, they stimulate them. Breakthroughs can not only occur with the proper support system, but with the power of a creative outlet. Oh, own your outlet. Getting lost in your creative outlet will yield itself to brand new discoveries, allowing you to blaze uncharted territories of your creative mindset. But how do we get here? It's easier than you think. 2020 alone has rerouted our lives in countless ways, whether because of job loss or different demands in our consumer culture. For me, pen and ink illustration has not only provided me with a creative outlet, it has allowed me to express pieces of my life that would have surfaced in unhealthy ways otherwise. Let me draw a scene for you. It is the hot summer of 2018, and I'm planning a fall wedding, an event my mother is helping to plan, but will be too weak to attend. Let me tell you about Mom for a second. This was a person who would rather binge watch TLC while cleaning the floor than go on an exotic vacation or to a fancy dinner. even if I invited the entire cast of 90 Day Fiancé. After years of convincing myself that I was not related to this woman, we started to mend a very broken relationship, becoming closer than ever before. It took my entire life to truly appreciate my mom. And then I come to find that she's slowly dying of a blood cancer called multiple myeloma. As her sickness steadily worsened and hair fell down from her face, aches and pains insatiably feasted on what was left of her. And I dove into the darkest moment of my life. At this point, we knew she had less than a year to live. And all I could think about was how her pain was eating me alive and how utterly lost I felt. In the heat of feeling lost, I pick up something safe, my pen, and I begin to draw something. Not just something to make me happy in that moment, but a story. This girl is walking through a dark forest with a rusty lantern. She's following this warm and vibrant light to this tall and whimsical treehouse. Her back is facing the viewer, leaving you curious. Is she sad to be lost, or is she optimistically embarking on a new adventure? Would she ever have found this mysterious treasure of a landscape if she just followed a roadmap? She is me. When my illustration Lost was featured in a gallery, I got a call from a viewer who wanted to meet with me in person. And I can't lie, it made me feel kind of important at the time. We sat down together in this crowded coffee shop in Baltimore City, and her eyes widened with her smile. She was excited to see me so that she could tell me the impact my work had on her and how she couldn't unsee my design. As she unraveled her feelings about my illustration, she wondered if her theory about the story I depicted was correct. I stated that it did not matter if she was correct. If she cared enough to track down a total stranger to express herself, I didn't want to confirm or deny her beliefs about my work. I wanted the mystery and inspiration of my illustration to sustain itself by not being tainted by the truth. And then I had a change of heart. I opened up to her about how my illustration was inspired by my mother's passing. And then she opened up to me about losing her mother at the same exact age. At this moment, I had an epiphany. It is not enough to just make something in the trenches of feeling lost. One must marry the concept of making and sharing. Creating is our opportunity to build meaningful relationships in society. I would have not made an impact on any person if not for getting lost in my outlet. As psychologist Alan Castell once stated, an outlet, getting lost itself, can lead to a deeper learning about yourself, your goals, and your interests. I would have never been able to find myself again if not for getting lost in my outlet. My creative potential and confidence would have never been reached if not for illustrating and sharing my story. S, storytell. One can make an unforgettable impact by sharing a personal story through an art form. When vulnerability and humility is exposed to the masses with creative storytelling, it can create a ripple effect so influential and so impactful that it can allow one to feel comfortable enough to express and access a creative outlet on their own. According to psychologist and neuroscientist Uri Hassan at Princeton University, in a study involving the brain activity of two people, as one person told a story and the other listened, the greater the listener's comprehension, the more closely the brainwave patterns mirrored those of a storyteller. If this is true, how does one tell a good story? Well, in my experience, if you can allow one to envision the five senses of smell, taste, sight, touch, and hearing, then you can truly captivate someone's attention and transport them to an unforgettable space, maybe even a dark and mysterious forest. Sharing a good story with creative mindset doesn't come without its risks. T, take creative risks. Getting lost is a risk, but we must get lost in creativity in order to be found in the eyes of confidence. What does that mean? Shouldn't we always have a plan, a set of directions, Google Maps? How about Waze? I love it when Morgan Freeman tells me to make a left turn. As far as problem solving, our minds are habituated and drawn to it. If we are getting lost physically, that means having a heightened sense of awareness in regards to our actions and environment. But how does that link to creativity? True creatives take time to notice the unnoticed. Creatives are willing to take exquisite risks. Right before my mom passed away, I asked her where to look for her in nature as a sign of her presence. She said, "I'll be a purple butterfly." Have you ever seen a purple butterfly? I haven't. At first I was upset because I was thinking, how would I ever find her? But then it dawned on me. Beautiful things are not always obvious, which makes them more precious when they are found. Just like your creative mindset. So the next time your light goes out and you are unable to see your roadmap, allow yourself the chance to embrace that feeling, because it may surface the most brilliant layer of your creative mindset, your purple butterfly. As the extraordinary and unpredictable artist Colson Baker once said, "How does one give a legendary performance if you can't get lost in it?" There are no rules in art. There are no rules with creativity, and there is always a way to access it with your story. We all have a story that is yet to be told, so how are you going to tell it? We cannot make impactful change without vulnerable marks, words, and performances. Our world needs your artistry in order to see life with a fresh and inspired lens. So what will you do when the light burns out? You'll just have to get lost. Thank you.